Event State Tournament is sponsored in part by the Car Phone Store of Nashua.
And now from the Londonderry Bowling Center, here are Doug Brown and Dan Murphy.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back once again to the Londonderry Bowling Center here in Londonderry, New Hampshire, and week 2 of our men's all-events state championship between Dave Richards and Gary Carrington. Doug Brown along with Dan Murphy. The first 3 games of this match last week, and now we will roll the last 3. Good back-and-forth action during the first 3 games of this match, and we had 2 kind of interesting little subplots going. Gary started out like a house of fire, and then kind of picked it up again at the end. Dave was pretty consistent throughout, but only because he really couldn't string any marks together at any point.
That's right. So even in game of candlepins, there's momentum, and Gary seemed to have it, lose it the second game, and it looked like Dave was going to take a lead into this week until Gary came up with a double strike the final 2 boxes. So you never know until the ball's thrown.
All right, let's meet our 2 bowlers once again in case you missed any of last week's action, or just to refresh your memory. After the 21 games of competition for the state championship and then the match play round, the first guy to get into the, or one of our 2 finalists, the number 4 seed, the guy who advanced through the match play competition from Plastow, New Hampshire, Dave Richards.
Okay, Dave comes in averaging 133, high single 196, high triple 470.
And again, last week, Dave Richards with a 372. He rolled 12 marks, 9 of those were spares, 3 strikes. And he'll be facing the number 1 seed, the guy who finished as the top overall seed for the 2nd year in a row in this event after winning it last year, our number 1 seed from also Plastow, New Hampshire, Gary Carrington.
Gary averaging 132, high single 196, high triple 480.
And last week, Gary, with that double strike to finish, wound up with a 388, 10 spares, and 3 strikes. So again, just to refresh your memory on the scores, we will pick up with today's action. This is game 4 now of a 6-game match, and we'll show you the scores once again. 388 for Gary Carrington, 372 for Dave Richards. So we'll be back with games 4 through 6 as we complete the state men's all events championship here on the Winds of New England right after this timeout. Don't go away. Game 4 about to get underway. A 16-pin lead for Gary Carrington. Dave Richards will lead it off, being the lower seed. Dave leading off 4 of the 6 games in this match. Oh, fine spare. Well, starting right off with a big spare on lane 30, that's got to make Dave feel pretty good.
Probably wondering what's happening. Oh, needs to kick that 3-pin out of there. No, the 3-7, and not a real good angle. Wood behind it. Oh, yes. Great shot. Played it on the inside, have the 3-pin come off the right sidewall and into the 7. Great shot. 2 in a row.
Well, 2 weeks ago, we saw Janet Pock in the ladies all events final come out with just a flurry of marks in this 4th game and really put the match away quickly. Oh, almost.
Gary's bid for a great spare.
And a 9-box. Now Gary over to lane 29. Pulled that one to the left. That came out of his hands left all the way. And left again. Six-box for Gary. chance right away here off the top for Dave Richards to retake the lead.
Just sliding by the headpin, but gets a decent drop of 7.
And he does retake the lead.
He leaves himself to 1, 4, and 7. Problem here is probably going to be the 7 pin. No, too full, and the head pin left both 4 and 7. The angle of that wood, protecting that 7 pin a little bit. Good 10 bucks, 45 through 3. We trailed by 16 last week. It's up by 20 now, so it's do the math. 4-pin lead now overall for Dave Richards.
Dave waving at the wood. Dave studies this like he's reading a putt. He's looking at it from every angle.
I was looking at that back piece, see if it was frozen. It wasn't. Oh, great shot. Not much room for error there. Had to be right on the cap. That's 3 out of 4 boxes marks the second game, first game of week number 2, I should say. Let's say the second match. It's all one match. This second week.
2 parts.
No break there for Gary. He leaves himself to 5, 6, and 10.
He's had this leave before.
And now the wood slides off to make it more difficult.
We should take a moment to once again acknowledge Rob Ficara and the rest of his staff at Exeter Lanes in Exeter, New Hampshire, for handling all the details of the 1996 New Hampshire State Candlepin Championships. Their first time hosting, right?
Yes,
they did a terrific job.
They certainly did.
So our hats off to Rob and his staff in Exeter. The entire state championship, except for the televised finals that you're seeing here on the Winds, held at the Exeter Lanes. Congratulations to not only all of the participants, but especially all the champions. There's a great spare. Gary's first spare this week. He made it a beauty.
It splits the 2 and the 4. 2 jumps over into the 6.
That's a 5 fill for Dave Richards.
4 horsemen left plus the 9. Through 5.
Our thanks go out to the participating sponsors presenting the 1996 State Championship events here on the Winds of New England. Dave Richards gets another spare.
Another one. Dave made that shot look easy, but it's not with that wood. He had to have that wood come off the wall, and he had to catch enough of it to do just that. That was a nice spare by Dave Richards.
And most particularly 2 sponsors that are helping bring all the action your way during the state championship. The Carphone Store of Nashua, now an authorized Bell Atlantic 9X mobile agent. And a new sponsor here on Candlepin Bowling on the Winds of New England, Meineke Discount Mufflers. Not quite for Gary, trying to jump that out of the channel. Gary gets this pin, which he does. This match is dead even again with now 25 boxes to go. Gary trying to match the mark left up there by Dave Richards, and he betters it with the strike. Powerful strike that time.
Certainly was. Didn't take very long to go down, kicking the 5-pin from behind.
Dave on a spare. Look out. 9 drop.
He's got a choice here. Right at the 5 or take the wood. He's shooting at the pin, I think, the way he's going. 2 marks in a row.